Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a full start to finish video with the Pit Boss Competition Series vertical smoker model PBV5P2 Wi-Fi. In this video, I'm going to show three things. First, the unboxing. Second, the assembly step-by-step using the manual instructions. And third, the first cook, which will be a smoked turkey. So let's start with the unboxing. Here is the box and you can see the model information. PBV5P2, 110 to 120 volts, and it has Wi-Fi. This is a vertical pellet smoker, so it uses pellets for fuel, and it has a digital controller to run the temperature. First thing, I'm cutting the tape, opening the top, and taking my time. When you unbox a smoker like this, don't rush it. Sometimes small parts or hardware bags are tucked into corners, and you don't want to throw anything away by accident. Now I'm pulling out the paperwork first. Here is the manual, and I'm going to keep it right next to me the whole time because it shows the exact screws and the exact order for the build. Next, I'm removing the smaller parts, racks, trays, chimney pieces, the grease bucket, and the door handle. I like to lay everything out on the ground like a checklist. That way I can see what I have, what I still need to find in the packaging, and what hardware goes with what part. Quick tip, keep the hardware separated by letter. On this smoker you have screws marked B and C, washers marked E, F and G, plus the pins marked D and a knob marked A. It looks simple, but if you mix them up, assembly gets annoying fast. Now I'm checking the smoker body itself for any shipping damage, dents or scratches. Everything looks good. And before I throw away the foam and cardboard, I'm going to confirm that I found everything inside the box. If you're doing this at home, keep the box until the smoker is fully assembled and standing on its legs. Alright, unboxing is done. Now we're going straight into assembly, step by step. Assembly time. I'm going to follow the instruction pages that came with the PBV5P2, and I'll explain what I'm doing as I go. Before we begin, here are the basic setup tips. The manual recommends using a Phillips screwdriver and not using a power drill. The reason is simple. A drill can strip screws or over-tighten them and bend the sheet metal. Also work on a soft surface like cardboard, foam, or a blanket so you don't scratch the smoker or the floor. And if you have a second person, it helps a lot when flipping the smoker upright because it's heavy. Okay, step 1. I'm opening the hopper lid and checking the hopper area. I'm removing any packaging, tape, cardboard, or protective pieces. I'm also checking around the edges and corners because sometimes small packing pieces hide there. Now I'm opening the main cabinet door and removing everything inside. Racks, trays, manuals, and any protective foam. I'm checking that nothing is stuck under the bottom area, and I'm making sure the inside is completely clear. Now before I start building, I'm going to sort the hardware. I'm grouping everything by letter, exactly like the manual shows. We have the knob labeled A, screws labeled B, screws labeled C, pins labeled D, and washers labeled E, F, and G. Even if you don't know the washer names, it doesn't matter. Just match the letters and the picture. Now step 2, installing the legs. The legs are labeled 12A, 12B, 12C, and 12D in the manual. These legs are not all identical, so make sure you match the correct leg to the correct corner. I'm laying the smoker carefully on its side so I can access the bottom. If you're doing this alone, go slow and protect the edges so you don't scratch anything. Now I'm placing the first leg into position and aligning the holes. For this step, the manual uses the B screws, the E washers, and the D pins. I'm going to start by lining up the leg, inserting the pin where the manual shows, and then installing the screw with the washer. I always start every screw by hand first, just a few turns, so I know it's not cross-threaded. Once the first leg is attached and sitting straight, I move to the next leg. Same process, leg in position, align holes, insert the pin, start the screws by hand, then tighten. I repeat that for all 4 legs. This is the most important assembly step because it controls how stable the smoker will be. If the legs are not seated correctly, the smoker can wobble later. Okay, with all 4 legs on, we go to step 3. This is the large lower panel part 16. It connects between the legs and adds strength to the base. The manual shows using C screws along with the F and G washers for this step. So I'm matching the washer order exactly like the picture. I'm holding the panel in place, lining up the holes and starting the screws by hand. If a hole doesn't line up perfectly, don't force it. Just shift the panel slightly until the screw drops in cleanly. Now I tighten everything evenly. Don't tighten one corner completely first. Tighten each screw a little, then go around and snug them all up. That keeps the panel square. Now step 4, the 2 side braces, part 13 times 2. These braces add even more stability. Again, I'm using the C-screws and the washers shown in the manual. I put the brace into position, start all the screws and then tighten. At this point the base should feel much stronger and less flexible. Now step 5, we install the support parts 14 and 15. Part 15 is the long bar and part 14 is the smaller bracket piece. I'm placing them in the exact position shown in the manual picture. Then I install the screws. On steps like this, it helps to keep gentle pressure on the bar while starting the screws because it can shift a little. Once everything is installed, I tighten and check that the bar is straight and secure. This support helps keep the frame rigid when you move the smoker on the wheels. Now, step 6, the 2 small internal pieces, part 19 times 2. The manual shows installing these inside the lower area using C-screws. I'm positioning the first piece, lining up the holes, starting the screws by hand and tightening. Then I repeat for the second piece on the other side. These pieces look small, but they help guide and support internal parts, so it's important to install them exactly where the manual shows. Now the frame is complete and it's time for step 7. We install the knob labeled A in the location shown in the manual. I'm threading it in by hand until it's snug. Then I hang the grease bucket, part 10, on its bracket. This is where all the grease will drain, so it's good to make sure it sits correctly and won't fall off. Quick tip, later, during cooking, you can line the grease bucket with foil for easier cleanup. Still on step 7, flipping the smoker upright. This is the moment where having a second person really helps. I'm lifting carefully, rotating the smoker upright and setting it down gently on the wheels. Now that it's standing, I'm checking that it sits level and stable. If your casters have locks, lock them now so the smoker doesn't roll while you finish assembly. Now step 8, installing the door handle, part 4, using B screws. The manual shows the correct handle orientation and it also shows what not to do. So I'm placing the handle in the correct direction, inserting the screws and tightening evenly. Once the handle is on, I open and close the door to confirm the seal looks good and the door moves smoothly. Now step 9, the chimney stack. This is part 2 with the cap part 1. I'm placing the chimney into the opening on top. Then I align the screw holes and install the C-screws. Once the chimney is mounted, I place the cap on top. That cap controls airflow and helps protect the chimney opening from rain and snow. Now step 10, installing the small top piece labeled part 3 in the manual. The instructions show 2 C-screws for this step, so I'm lining it up, installing the screws and tightening. This is a small step, but it finishes the top section and keeps everything tight. Now step 11, installing the side access panel and the latch hardware shown in the manual. I'm taking the side panel and sliding it into position the way the picture shows, then making sure it sits fully in the track. Now I install the latch parts shown as 20 and 21 and the small part 18 so the panel can lock closed. The key here is alignment. If the latch feels too tight or too loose, adjust it slightly until it closes smoothly. Now we move inside the smoker cabinet. Step 12, installing the rack support pins. Part 6, 10 pieces total. These pins hold the racks. I'm inserting the pins into the holes on both sides of the smoker, making sure the left and right sides match. If you want more space for larger food, you can set the racks lower or remove a rack later, but the pins still need to be level. In this step, we also install the bottom tray, labeled part 11. The manual clearly says front, so I'm making sure that label faces the front of the smoker. If you install it backwards, the trays won't sit correctly later. Now, step 13, installing the internal trays and racks. First, the tray part 9 goes in where the manual shows, then the heat diffuser plate part 8 goes in. The diffuser plate also has an orientation, so I'm matching it exactly to the picture. These parts are important because they control airflow, heat distribution, and grease flow. Now I slide in the cooking racks, part 7, 5 racks total. They go on the pins and slide in and out smoothly. At this point, the smoker is fully assembled. Now step 14 is basically the final setup and placement. I'm moving it to the outdoor cooking area. Make sure you place the smoker on a stable, non-combustible surface with space around it for airflow and safety. Before the first cook, it's a great idea to do a quick burn-in. That means running the smoker empty at a medium-high temperature for a while to burn off any factory oils and smells. Keep the door closed during this and let the smoker do its job. After that, you're ready for food. And now, let's do the first cook, smoked turkey. Now for the first cook on the Pit Boss PBV5P2 Wi-Fi smoked turkey. This turkey is from Costco and it's about 12 pounds. If your turkey is frozen, you must thaw it safely. The easiest method is thawing in the refrigerator, but you can also thaw in cold water. If you use cold water, keep the turkey in a sealed bag, fully submerged, and change the water often so it stays cold. You can even add ice to keep the temperature down. Once the turkey is thawed, remove the plastic and take out everything from inside, like the neck and the giblets. One important safety tip: I personally do not recommend rinsing raw turkey because it can spread bacteria around your sink. Instead, I pat it dry with paper towels. If you do rinse, be extremely careful and disinfect everything after. Now I'm going to spatchcock the turkey, which means removing the backbone so the turkey lays flat. This helps it cook faster and more evenly, and it also helps the skin brown better. I cut out the backbone from the neck side down to the tail, then I open it up and press it flat. If you want it even flatter, you can remove the breastbone too, but that part is optional. Now seasoning. I'm using a simple mix: paprika, salt, pepper, and whatever seasoning blend you like. Use what your family enjoys. The key is salt, because salt helps the flavor go deep into the meat. After seasoning, I place the turkey in the refrigerator overnight. That gives the salt time to work like a dry brine, and the turkey cooks up more flavorful and juicy. The next day, it's smoker time. I fill the hopper with pellets. For turkey, I love cherry blend pellets because it gives a mild, sweet smoke that works really well with poultry. Inside the smoker, don't forget the water pan. Add water to the tray under the turkey. This helps keep the cooking environment moist, and it also helps stabilize the temperature. Now I preheat the smoker. For turkey, I like cooking around 325 degrees Fahrenheit for good color and a juicy result. If you want darker skin, you can raise the temperature near the end, but don't rush it. Cook by internal temperature, not just time. I place the turkey on the rack and tuck the wingtips under the bird so they don't burn. Then I brush a little oil on top so the skin finishes with a nice color. Now I insert the temperature probe into the thickest part of the breast without touching bone. The turkey is ready when the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. If your controller supports probe alerts, set an alarm so you don't have to guess. After a few hours, the turkey is done. I remove the turkey and let it rest before slicing. Resting is important because it keeps the juices in the meat. Now we carve, and you can see the meat is juicy, tender, and perfectly cooked.
Yummy, yummy.
That's our first cook on the brand new Pit Boss PBV5P2 Wi-Fi. Simple, delicious, and a great test for a new smoker. Enjoy, and let me know how your turkey turns out.